We're Margot Concola, our son, rural independence. I'd like to wish him Oireachtas, Don Harry. I want to compliment and wish well to Deputy Killeary, Minister Killeary, Minister for Agriculture, and indeed Minister Chambers, and indeed Minister of State Fleming also. Since he became whip, he's worked exceptionally well with us whips of the different parties. It was a huge legislative programme, but Dara, as always, was understanding, engaging, and wanted to have agreement rather than a division. And I worked with Dara over the decades, back in Oireachtas Fall, and I know him since he came into the Dáil in 07. And I have had many adjusts with him and adjusted, and no doubt we'll have many, many more. But I know that the West is wide awake this morning. I don't mind what others say about ministers for regions, but regions have to be represented at Cabinet, and the West wasn't represented, and I know it's well and truly represented now. And I know there'll be a small celebration in Carty's Bar in Knock and other places, and people like Breda Laffey will be very happy, and many, many others. But for his wife and family and his mother and you know, all his late, they'll be proud. I wish him well and look forward to working for him in these very difficult and challenging times with CAP, with the demise of agriculture. And if he makes one mark, if he can at all make one mark, it's to cut out half the bureaucracy and red tape that's involved in the Department of Agriculture. And any scheme that comes out, many of them are going back with monies not drawn down because of just simple bureaucratic red tape. I also want to wish Deputy Minister of State Chambers the best and look forward to working with him as whip. And Deputy Fleming, who is close to my own heartland of Tipperary, and he proved at public accounts his ability and his forensic questioning and his fairness as well. In that role, he will be well able for the challenge that is up to him today. But it has been a sad time for Minister Cowan, and I want to now Deputy Cowan, and I want to wish him well, and his wife and his mum, and indeed his brother who's in recovery, and the Cowan family. I actually knew and had engagement with his late dad, Bear, when he was Minister for the Dogs at the time, what department? So the Department of Agriculture. He was a junior there, and he often travelled to Clonmel to the Greyhound track and meetings, and engaged with people as well. A long, proud history in service to politics. And I stood up yesterday. Yes, I did, because we had him before the Dáil last week. And I feel, and I see now, just got a text that the Garda have gone on to the Data Protection Commissioner to investigate the leak. This is a very serious situation. That's why I supported not having a vote or another debate yesterday, having questions, because we have a huge legislative programme. A huge lot of work to do. We had him in last week, a profound apology for a crime that he committed, that he paid the price for and did the crime and did the time. So we're going to have this forensic examination. Any of us that ever robbed an orchard, are we going to be hauled before the Oireachtas for statement to suit parties of the left, in the main, the grandstanding. And I resent the fact that yesterday, Count Cole, and I'll be writing to you, after I supported the vote, I opposed the vote, or opposed it, the leader, the now self-proclaimed leader of the opposition, she thinks that we'll all be silenced, us, other opposition TDs, told me that it was the most untruthful statement I ever uttered. And when I went to consult with what was their issue, told me I was a Slevene. Imagine. And the journalists heard it. You mightn't have heard it on the record. I'll take no Slevene into a lesson from a party that have such a murky past and are still involved with that past and denying that they didn't want to be in government, but now they want to be total leaders of the opposition. None of us in the rural independents, regional independents, social democrats have any voice. This is the diktat of the unelected leader of Sinn Féin, appointed. I don't know of any democracy in Europe that has appointed leaders recently, but we've one in the north and in the south here in this country. So if she thinks that I'm a member under her wing now, that I'll bow and kowtow, it was a disgraceful rebuff. And if I said it, we'd have the Me Too brigade. If I said it, but you did say it, and I expect an apology, and I will get. You did say, and you were heard. Can I have the chair, please? She has time to reply. The journalists heard into the gallery. My colleague, Deputy Michael Collins, heard it. And if that's the kind of new politics, my goodness, is it the kneecapping going to be next? Or the threats? We lost 3 good councillors in Tipperary. Sinn Féin councillors were bullied out of the party in Tipperary. So I'll take no bullying from Deputy MacDonald or anybody else. I want to wish Barry Cowan and his family, and it's a tough time for him. I wish him all the best. And just to say that we in the Rural Independent Group will speak without fear or favour on issues that represent rural Ireland and our people, and we won't be downtrodden and we won't be bullied by Sinn Féin or anybody else who didn't want to go into government. But because they want to go, they want our seats too in the front row in the Dáil, they want our speaking time, and they want to limit all other roles that smaller groups have. This is the new politics that they want. Back to the past.
Thank you, Deputy McGrath.